Hey everybody, welcome to the FN Studios. I'm your host, John Ramdeen. Substance Cage Combat 2 goes down May 30th in Toronto at the Robert Carnegie Arena, and I'm now joined by the promoter, Mr. Neil Forrester. A great card you put together for this event. MMA returning to Toronto. Why is this important for you?
It's just important for me. It's important for the fans. It's important for the infrastructure of the sport and for the fighters.
Obviously, you want to give back to mixed martial arts because you and I work in the same offices. A lot of challenges in putting a card like this together. Why do you have dedication? Obviously, you have your gym. You want to give your guys support, but what is it about mixed martial arts that you're passionate about?
I ask myself that same question all the time, but I mean, it's no different than anything else that other people are passionate about. I mean, we all have our individual kind of loves or passions, and for me, it's the sport. I'm obviously much older and out of shape to compete myself. So if any way that I can be involved and give back, I do, have the ability to own a gym and train with some of my guys there. However, if there's anything else I can do, unfortunately, I'm able to put on fight cards.
We've heard that the Ontario Commission difficult to work with. When you give us your assessment of the show and some of maybe the backroom dealings that you've had to deal with Ken Hayashi and the Commission.
Well, I might take some flack for this from actually some of the other promoters and whatnot, but my dealings with Hayashi have actually been quite the opposite. And I'm not saying that because I have a fight coming up in a couple months. He's very blunt. He's to the point. He lets you know what it is, what he expects of you, and I have to be really honest with you. He asks for certain things like making sure the fighters' pays are upfront 2 weeks ahead of time, so checks don't bounce or fighters don't get paid. As you know, we've heard stories many times of these kinds of things happening. If you look at his history, he's never had a check bounce or a fighter not get paid while he's been the commissioner of the province. So I have to commend things like that because he's looking out for the safety of the fighters. Does he make us jump through a few more hoops than other regulatory bodies? Yes, but you know what? It's not like he's asking anything that I have a problem with. Fortunately for me, I do come from an events background, so a lot of the things that he does ask of us, I'm used to anyway, such as insurance policies, certain, bank references, criminal history background checks. Like those to me they should be done. And so I personally don't have any issues. Where the biggest headache putting on these cards is the fighters. And it's not necessarily the individuals themselves, although there are a few interesting characters.
Everybody's got their hands in the pot,
but it's like a methodical puzzle you try to put together. I don't want to fight him now. I'm not ready. I need more time. How about you do this? Okay, how about I fight this guy? Then the fighters want you to fly a guy in from Thunder Bay who's 1 win and 5 losses, and it's like, dude, I'm not going to pay $2,000 in flights from Thunder Bay so you can just go run through a guy. Yeah. So there's kind of like that constant, battle where you're trying to put this puzzle together, knowing at the same time that the commissioner is not going to approve a mismatch.
I want to talk about the card, a solid one. Your matchmaker, Cody, works here at FN. A fantastic card headlined by Alex Ricci taking on Jason Sago. And word around the campfire was that Alex Ricci was actually offered a fight in a different promotion for more money against a less talented opponent. Instead, he says, you know what? Sago's the guy here in Canada. I want him. You got to respect a guy like Alex Ricci.
100%. I mean, that was some of the backroom thing. It was exactly like you mentioned. Ricci was offered an easier opponent, more money. He was also offered a couple other options for this card that were on the table, but he just said, look, this is the best look for me. He basically texted, I think, his management and said, I know you guys are my managers and I love you, but I'm making the call on this one. I want Sago.
Talk about the community support. The last show, fantastic. We didn't know what to expect going into the show, but great community support. Are you getting that same vibe from Substance Cage Combat 2?
Yeah, we had a great amount of support going into the first one. However, there was some hesitancy, like always when you're doing your first event. And I think once people got to see the final product, they were there, they got to witness it. They saw great fights that the fighters put on. They got to see it, live on TV, or not live, but on TV on the Fight Network. People got to realize, wow, this happened. This was great, and there is an opportunity. There is another outlet, and so the support from the community has actually even enhanced even more. So I'm eagerly anticipating the card to happen, and it's been great.
The Robert Carnegie Arena will play host to Substance Cage Combat 2. All the action goes down on May 30th.